Hi everyone, welcome back to Tutorials with Chimmy. If you are not in Digital Photo 2, this might be your very first video with me if you are in Computer Design 2 only. Today I'm just going to walk through the project just a little bit and show you where everything is located in Schoology. So right now I'm going to go to share my screen with you. And I am going to go to our districts page. So I do need you to go to the web page, please. This will be your web page that should come up if you're going to students underneath Menominee Falls School District. And please go to Schoology from here, which would be in your right-hand corner over here. I need you to go to staff to get my Schoology because it goes to a little bit of a different link than you. When we're at Schoology, I need you to go to this course, which is Computer Design 2. And when you are there, you'll notice a couple of different things that I've started to add in. The calendar and due dates, we are trying to stay as close as we can to the calendar that we had presently and before COVID-19. Please go to the blue folder labeled Units and Projects. And please go to the green folder labeled ReDesign. You'll notice I have a couple of different links in here. You should have already picked your art style / movement, and then you should have signed up on the Google link that is next, where it says sign up for your art style and movement. If you have not done that, you should do that now. We cannot double up, so if someone is there in the link that you want, it needs to stay there. The art research Google Doc, that is where you actually put in your art style / movement that you selected. Tell me what and how that art style, like a definition of it basically, and then a couple of different examples of artist work that you're going to use to reference for your labels. Just remember, we're only doing one label. Then if we go down, we have example AI, label template AI, and then I have 2 links in here for you, which state student examples on Artsonia and more student examples on Artsonia. And then I actually have the handout down here for you. Please make sure that you actually go through and look at all of this. It will truly help and probably answer a lot of your questions. So student examples on Artsonia, if we click there, it should be a direct link. And when you get that little guy, that's fine. Just come up here and click on student examples on Artsonia. You'll get a little hand. And it should take you to the gallery that I've already pre-established in the past year or two of the student works. So you will see them, and if I click on this one, it should make it a little bit bigger. And as always, it never says the student's first and last name and what's going on with it. And you can zoom in a little bit, but you will notice it just gets a little bit grainy. The biggest thing to remember here is that you are starting off with one label only, just one. And then I need to check that in to make sure everything is okay. You are not redesigning the company's logo. So for instance, Coca-Cola here is the red circle with the white text. You are not doing that. We are only working with the label itself. And then there are obviously things that we need to include in this, and we'll go over that in a little bit. So I'm going to go back. And again, these are examples that are on Artsonia. The link is right there in Schoology for you. And you can go through and just see a ton of different ones. And each one is affiliated with a style of artwork. You'll also notice that there is soda or water. There is lemonade, tea, coffee, anything, a beverage that you can drink, that is fine. But please remember the label is all the same. So for here, Monster, usually Monster is on a metal can, like a soda pop can. That's fine that you want to do Monster. I'm cool with that. You must use the Monster logo. You must follow all the other requirements though, and you are still doing a paper label that will do to wrap around the actual bottle itself. All right, so that's it for there. I am going to go back to our units and projects into Schoology. So I actually want to go in and open up one of the AIs because one is an example for you and one is the actual template I want you to start to use. Example, exactly as I said, it's an example to show you what everything is, and I kind of have some like diagrams on there for you. The rest, the label template, is the template that I need you to use. Please don't forget you need to relabel that as always, our 2 dot your last name dot label number 1. Then your second one is label number 2, and your third one is label number 3, but we are not doing that today or this week at all. We're just working on label 1 itself. So please click on Example AI, and it will start to download to your computer. And while you are doing that, I'm going to bring mine up. So yours probably will not be coming up right now, which is totally fine. Yours will take maybe a little bit longer. Maybe yours is faster, who knows? It all depends on that beautiful Wi-Fi that we completely depend on right now. And mine is taking quite a while. So just a couple of other things while that is trying to come up and load is that you truly want to make sure that you have all the requirements on here, because it's faster for the turnaround of when you actually turn in your label to when I get it back to you. So here is the label. I'm going to see if we can pull this up, just make it a little bit bigger for you to see while I'm going through some of these. And yes, this was created in AI. Do not use this to make yours. This is just an example. I could have made it as a PDF, but sometimes it's just easier to show you in Illustrator so you can get used to it a little bit more. So this top part here that I'm actually circling right now, that is the student example piece. That is just label number 1. So if we look down here at the bottom where it says template number 1, this is the front area right here. This is side number 1. And then you go over to the right and it says side number 2. This back area basically is everything provided for you. You don't really need to change that. You can, which I'll get to a couple other different ones. And then this is the extra flap. That will actually be underneath, and then the label comes over and folds on top of it. So that's kind of like an extra clearance type of thing. But underneath of here, I include what you must include. So let's start in the front. You must include the title, which is basically the logo, your illustration that you're starting to put in, and that's where the main part should be, because if it's sitting on a shelf, you're only going to see that main part right there, which is that first about 2 inches, just that main part, because the rest of it starts to wrap around it. This is the overflow of the front, and that's the light gray parts are. And then you have the overflow of side 1 and side 2. Side for the back of it, I'm just going through there. So you must include nutrition facts, your barcode / your UPC code, recycling logo, calorie logo, and designed by you and inspired by your art style. Then, yes, I did spell inspired wrong. I'll correct that. Coming back up here to the top, you'll notice that this right here is the main 2 inches of the front, and there's the full ounce. I'm going to enlarge this a little bit. So when I come over here, right now, my nutrition facts is for Good Brew green tea from Arizona. This student actually found one of them and put them in. It would be very nice. You can easily go online and find the nutrition facts. I placed it in there. You do not need to use that one. It should really relate back to if you're going to do a soda, water, because water is usually 0 for mainly anything. There's no calories. This right here, the calorie per serving, this may go on the front if you want. It's just easier to put it into the back. You can change this. You can also create this in Illustrator if you want and you can't find your own. Basic font to use would be Arial Bold or Arial Black. And you can use just a full oval for this if you want. The recycling logo, it does not need to be this exact one, but you do need to make sure that you're using at least one recycling. Then the barcode, you can leave the same if you want, or find another barcode that fits in there. It's totally up to you. Designed by, you must put your first and last name here and make sure that it says inspired by whatever art movement that you are doing. So then that is your first example of your template. That is just an example. It's just to kind of show you everything that if I was in the classroom, I'd be able to demonstrate each one of those things for you. Now I would like you to please open up the label template, which is right here. And that should open up hopefully a little bit faster since you already have Illustrator open. So what I've done here is I've carried over on the left-hand side of the screen the example, which is kind of like that little tiny key, like you'd have a key on a map of what goes where. But this right here where it says template is where you're actually going to create yours. So this label is 9 inches by 2. Please do not create a new one. Use this exact page. Just relabel it HR2 dot your last name dot label 1. Please. You're going to start to put your information on here. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that you figure out what you want to do. If it's going to be water, tea, coffee, energy drink, something that comes in a bottle. The next thing is you're going to start to actually truly look at all those different types of art movements that you selected and make sure that you are creating a piece of art that looks like it. And this is where the project kind of opens up a little bit, where if you like to draw, go ahead and draw and put the picture in there. We can do that. If you like to do watercolor and you want to make it look like that cool watercolor effect going through, and it's going to be water and all that, go ahead, watercolor it and take a photo of it and put it in. You know how to do the file, place, embed for any of the images. You've already done that. The other option is if you like to do a tablet type of drawing, you can use your own tablet at home, because a lot of you I know do have that. Do whatever drawing that you want, save it, and then go ahead and pop it into this template. You do not have to create the piece of artwork on this document, but you can. That's the thing where it's just giving you a total different ideas. Please also make sure that that full ounce that is at the bottom right hand side there, this one right here, is the correct full ounce for you. You can always type in a new number. And obviously don't forget to, as I'm enlarging this, make sure your calorie content is correct for what you are using. Make sure that the recycling logo is there. Make sure that you actually fill this part out where it's designed by you, first and last name, inspired by, all that good stuff. And then your nutrition label corresponds with what you are doing. And just a reminder that if you have artwork that comes on the outside edges and it comes out, don't forget, select everything, group it, come over here, grab a rectangle, take that rectangle, put it on top, go up to object, clippy mask, and then make. I don't have the make there because obviously I don't have anything selected. Don't forget, clippy masks are going to work great with this actual project. This is due, your very first one is due to me by the end of this week. So please make sure that you title it correctly. It should not say label underscore template.ai. It should say HR2 dot last name dot label number 1 or number 1 label. And obviously the .ai should already be there. You do not need to save it as a JPEG. I need the AI, please. Please attach that AI as an email and send it to shimmater@sdmfschools.org. Any questions on that? I'm seeing some hands be like, wait, I have this, I want to ask this. That's where email comes in right now, and please email all your questions to me as well. Make sure that you write ahead, like right away at that subject line, you title it question / your name and then the course someplace in there. So I know what questions are coming up, because we have a ton of emails right now and I want to make sure that I get your questions answered before I'm checking in someone else's late work, because this is the class that we need to focus on right now during this day. Again, if you have any questions, you know how to find me. You also know my cell phone, so you're all good. And that's about it. Good luck with everything. Again, there are plenty of resources that are out there, and there's a lot of examples from my past projects with Artsonia. Please use it to the fullest. But you're only doing 1 label right now. We get that one totally checked in, everything corrected on it, then we go ahead and we do label 2. After that's done, I look at them to make sure that the 2 totally coincide with the same style. Then I'm like, okay, now you're free. Go ahead and do the 3rd label. Then we have the 3 on the 1 page, and I can see that everything aligns, everything looks the same. Then we actually go into the next step. But again, label 1 is the only one that is due this week. All right, over and out. Shim's done with that tutorial. I hope you enjoy. And if you're finding any problems with Illustrator, again, you know how to contact me. Have a great day. Bye.